Namaste. My name is Kirti, and on behalf of Himalayan Yoga Association, I welcome you all to this online teacher training course. I am a teacher here at Himalayan Yoga Association, and I will be taking you through the concepts and details of the human body and yoga altogether. Let's hope you enjoy this course. Let's start.
Namaste and welcome back to the online yoga teacher training course. In today's video, we are going to discuss Antar and Bahir meditation. But before we go ahead and do that, I request you all to come and chant the Gayatri mantra with me as we start on a positive note. So simply sit straight with your spine completely erect, roll your shoulders to the back and tilt your head back to bring it in line with the spine. In the end, close your eyes and observe how the mind is responding to the activity of your breath. Surrender to your breath and let yourself relax as you inhale and exhale. Now, after a few calming breaths, you can slowly bring your hands in front of your chest in Namaskara Sthiti. Touch the heart center with the back of your thumbs. If you know the mantra, you can chant it with me. Otherwise, you can repeat it afterwards. Breathe in. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Having absorbed the vibration and effect of the mantra, let's generate some energy between our hands by rubbing our palms against each other. And finally, you can cover your eyes with your palms and transfer this energy to your eyes. Then massage your face, back of your neck, shoulders, elbows, knees, ankles, wherever you want to transfer this energy you've created. Before you open your eyes, once again fold your palms, bow down to your fingertips, and with a few blinks, expose your eyes to light again, creating your vision back. Okay. So, what is Antar and Bahir meditation? If you have knowledge about pranayam, then you realize that the conscience, with the help of pranayam, flows in two directions, inwards and outwards. There are, of course, some pranayam which require you to focus more on external exhalations, and there are some pranayams which require you to focus more on internal inhalations. There is one third category when it comes to your breath, which is very vital. It is called 𝐘𝐨𝐻. 𝐘𝐵 means breath retention. Both these internal and external inhalations and exhalations are obviously a subcategory, or we can say a preparation for the 𝐘𝐴 in itself. In 𝐘𝐵, again, is of two types, Antar 𝐘𝐵 and Bahir 𝐘𝐵. Antar 𝐘𝐵 is when you're retaining the breath inside and not breathing or not inhaling or exhaling for a short amount of time, whatever your body allows. Bahir 𝐘𝐵 is when you're exhaling and not inhaling for some time, which means you're retaining the breath outwards, restricting the body from inhaling at all. In today's video, we are going to discuss how pranayam, any pranayam, or at least most of the pranayam techniques that you're familiar with are all one way or the other methods of meditation in itself. Let's talk about pranayam as a whole. as a complete beginner, you start by simply inhaling and exhaling. The whole practice or the involvement of breath retention obviously comes way afterwards, after your lungs have been strengthened, after the lungs have gotten used to and accustomed to the flow of prana. On those lines, eventually, once the body is okay with the whole process of effortless inhalations and exhalations with a deep breath, then you start training your body into retaining the breath, whether it's inwards or outwards, depending on whatever the requirement of the technique is. So on those lines, different meditation techniques, different pranayam techniques are also in a way different meditation techniques one way or the other. Of course, these are not the techniques which will take you to the higher conscience, so to say, in the step 7 of the 8 limbs of yoga. But pranayam in itself, if you pay attention, at least for if you're a complete beginner, you can find out that it leaves a very meditative, a very relaxing effect on the mind itself. Let's take the example of Anuloma Viloma, or alternate nostril breathing technique, wherein you're required to inhale from one side and exhale from the other side. Something that you do like this. Of course, you must be aware of the techniques, but in that case as well, while keeping in mind while being completely conscious of your inhalations, how much time are you spending on inhaling? Are you stressing your lungs? Are you taking control of the body? What is the activity of the mind? What is not the activity of the mind? Again, remember, the breath is directly connected with the activity of the mind. If the breath is too shallow, short, quick, and you're not paying attention to it, then probably you are lost somewhere with your thoughts. Your conscience is either enraged, you're angry, you're restless. One way or the other, the mind will start reacting to the activity of the breath, and vice versa. If the mind is calm, if the mind is relaxed, if the mind is content, the breath will also be very relaxed, very comfortable. It will not put any stress on your body at all. Similarly, alternate nostril breathing involves you to breathe consciously and effortlessly, taking slow and deep inhalations. And while in an ideal technique, eventually once you have practiced enough, for complete beginners or people who have very low stamina, it is suggested that you avoid the kumbhak or the breath retention part. But in a normal way, ideally, alternate nostril breathing requires you to inhale first and then hold the breath inside for some time before you exhale it out. So this kumbhak or breath retention is the stage which requires you to obviously think about holding the breath. You are told that the exhalation should be twice as long as an inhalation, which tells you that you're consciously thinking about how much breath you're inhaling, you're consciously thinking about holding the breath inside, and you're consciously thinking about letting go of the breath and making sure that the time spent on the exhalation is more than the inhalation itself. Now, while you're consciously doing these things, after practicing it for a certain stage, you'll realize that you're able to do this effortlessly without much challenges, without much problems. Now, keeping those things in mind, are you not familiar with the fact of meditation, wherein you start by consciously focusing on a certain part of your body, and then eventually you effortlessly keep focusing on the same part or the same point of focus, whichever you have chosen. Similarly, alternate nostril breathing, one way or the other, is a conscious act of focus. The breath, again, is the object of focus. The technique is also the object of focus in this case. And eventually you'll realize that by doing it constantly for a long time, you are doing it subconsciously as well for a long time. And that is when it becomes the act of meditation. Once you do not have to put in that many efforts to do the technique, at that time it becomes the meditation in itself. There are many benefits to Antar and Bahir meditation. Of course, Antar, do not get confused by these words. Antar and Bahir literally just means internal and external. Antar and Bahir meditation, of course, involves kumbhak as well, which is a requirement for advanced pranayam practitioners. By practicing these things, by practicing pranayam, you are obviously meditating in a certain way, while obviously retaining the benefits of the pranayam in itself and controlling the mind in itself. I hope you found this video informative. I will come again next time. Until then, thank you and namaste.